everybody. This is Bonnie, the Crafty Connoisseur, coming to you on, I think it's May 13th, the day after Mother's Day. Hope you all had a wonderful Mother's Day. I did. We didn't do a whole lot, but that's okay. Went to lunch with my mom and dad and looked at a antique store called Dirty Jane's and went to the hardware store and looked at flowers. My mom was looking for some for her planter. And so, all in all, we had a really good day. Let's see here. I have a little bit of a scratchy throat today and I feel a little stuffed. I think it's all the pollen in the air. So I have my coffee over here, and if you want to have a coffee or a drink or something, I would like you to just relax and watch what I have accomplished since the last time I seen you. I do believe it was, look at my notes. I think it was like the second to the last week in April, something like that. Was the last time I did a floss tube. Since May's going to be a little longer, I decided to wait a little bit. I try to put them up every 2 weeks, but I decided to wait a little bit longer than normal. My friend, who is the cross-stitching time, go check her out. Her name is Angie, or she calls herself Angela. I've always called her Angie. We've been best friends since 3rd grade. She was asking me when I was going to put up another floss tube video, and I said I was going to do it this week. So, sorry this isn't a little bit more. Some people can do their floss tubes and it comes out effortlessly and there's no hiccups. This is just Bonnie. This is just a rough floss tube. No editing, really. It doesn't have to be perfect. I want people to be very comfortable with my floss tube, and if I make mistakes in what I'm saying, I'll come back and try to correct them the next time I have a floss tube. But you're going to hear my brain not working right. I have a hard time thinking. I have fibromyalgia, as I've said before, and sometimes it messes with my brain. And I feel like I'm in a fog, so that's how I feel today. But this is my 12th floss tube, and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is look at what I have been stitching on. I decided for the month of May that I was going to do something different. I was going to work on some old projects, but new projects for this year, if that makes sense. I've worked on them before, but I was feeling a little bit like I wanted to get some things done. And by working on just one big project and then one small one, it doesn't feel like I'm getting a whole lot done. So I decided for the month of May, I know a lot of people do May Mania, they do Mirabilia Mania, or Mirabilia May, they do a start a day, they do all kinds of things. But I decided for the month of May that I was just going to work on some of my older charts and just try to get some of these. I picked out 16 charts, or I'm going to call them PhDs. I was watching a lady from England, and she, instead of calling them whips, she calls them PhDs, potential happy dances. And I like that word so much better. Whips, when you say that, people look at you kind of like it's something dirty, if you know what I'm talking about. If you're into that kind of thing. I'm not. But anyways, probably a little bit more information than... So I like potential happy dances. I'm going to try to speak a little louder. I noticed on the floss tubes that I've been looking at, there's some people that are very hard to understand. So I'm going to try to speak a little louder and a little bit more clear. But, so, going off of that, of what I've been doing, the first thing I did was This, I've had these in my, I have had these charts for a while, and I've looked them up, and I can't find anybody that has stitched these. Usually you can find some kind of stitched markup or a stitch piece somebody did. All I can find by this author, or by this creator, whatever you call him, is his quilt blocks, but nothing really about the cross stitching. I know he's an older, he was probably back 80s, 90s, 2000, but I can't find anything about him. And so it is Curtis Boehringer. Boehring. Anyways, but this is my measly start on it. It was 100 stitches, and this is the start of the hat, and this is called Santa Claus May Santa Claus, and this is him, and he's holding a pot of flowers, but I can't find anything. This is all I can find. So I took a picture and put it on my card that I keep in my floss bag, but I can't ever find any pictures of these charts. And so all I have is black and white, so it's going to be as much a surprise to me as it is to you all what it's going to look like. But there we are. It's a 50 by 90, and I substitute, they called for DMC flower colors. I don't know what in the world those are, but I substituted them out for DMC flosses. So I started this on the 4th of May, it looks like, and I'm using a 16 count Aida. So there's my first one I worked on. Now that was absolutely a new start. I thought, I've been wanting to do that. I was going through my charts, and I thought, I would like to do that one and see what it's like. So that's what I did. My next one, of course, is, I talked about this the last time, I've been doing the Nativity. I finished Just Married for my daughter and son-in-law, and I decided to work on the next. My husband picked the next one, and it was the Nativity by Crochetia Gogo. I got 100, and let me see if I can find the card. Here it is. I got 190 stitches on that one. No. I got way more than that. Let's see here. I got 622 stitches on that just this month. And a little bit of the end of April. But here it is. And I am loving it. I'm not wanting to put it down. So I finished up this angel here and did the stars, and then I did this little pit of white. This will go all the way across, and then, but I've decided to go straight down. And then I'm working on the little town. Isn't that just the cutest thing? I just love it, and it is so fun to work on. This is really fun. And here is going to be the mock-up of it. So I'm right here. Right there. I really don't think this is going to take a lot of time. It is so much fun. And the material is, my daughter dyes my material, and so it's a custom 18 count Aida. And I thought it looked good because it looked like parchment. And I'm using just DMC floss for that one. So I want to get back to that. It got 4 days so far this month. And that was before I started my new rotation for the month of May. Okay, the next one I did was, I've been using the Tiny Decision Wheel, and the next one that came up was Christmas Tiny Town. My husband got all of these for me for Christmas, and I'm really, really liking it. This is the first one right here that I finished and I got 345 stitches. I'm really loving this one. I can see why people have been stitching these. These are so much fun. This has been so much fun. And quick. It's been a quick stitch. So there it is. That was a lot of fun. So we'll see when it comes back out to play again. It definitely is. It's just, I don't know if I'm going to keep this rotation or not. I might. Okay, this next one, I don't know how to say it. I don't know the name of it because it is from Finland. And I got it from a lady I met at the Crazy Woman Stitch Retreat. And she got done with it and she decided to send it to me. And my father is half Finnish and Swedish, and my grandmother came from Finland, and so here's my little start. I'm really liking it. I didn't like it at first, I will tell you the truth, because I was trying to go across like this, and it just wasn't working out. So when I decided to go down like this, you know, and complete, and then go down again and complete, it turned out to be so much fun. And I got 235 stitches, and this is what it looks like. And I'm just calling it Elf Feeding Animals. And so I finished this part right here, and it went really fast. I've seen it stitched in person, and oh, it is so cute. It doesn't look, the picture doesn't do it justice, but it is really a pretty piece. And this is becoming one of my favorites too. I would like to work on that some more. So I've been glad that I've been stitching the way I have this month, because I would have probably never got to some of these and I'd have been sad. I wouldn't have known what I was missing. So there's that one. And then, of course, I've been doing winter as my daily stitch, 50 stitches every day. Maybe a little more if I want to, because sometimes this is so much fun. This is by the Cross-Eyed Cricket, and this has been so much fun that some days I don't want to stop. But I did complete the letter W. I did complete the house, and I did make a mistake on there, but we fudged it, and it looks fine. And then I did this little bird, and this snowflake, and now I'm on to the letter I here, as you can see. And I made a mistake here, but we fixed that. And then it's going to have like white. I don't know. I guess it'll come clear. I don't know. It doesn't look, I don't know what it's going to be. It kind of looks like angel wings, but there's no angel. We shall see. I would think this would be a tree, because it has a star up here that's going to go up here. I don't know. We will see. But this is what I've been stitching on for 50 stitches a day or a little bit more. And so far this month, I've gotten 500 stitches just doing that little bit. That's only a half hour a day. So even if you don't have a lot of time to sit and stitch, do 50 stitches a day. You will get done so fast, and it's more than you think that you'll get done. So what's come up today is, I don't really want to take it out of the hoop because I just put it in the hoop, but you can kind of see it. This is Spring at Hawthorne Hollow, Block 1. And I started this last year, and I put it up because I was going to do Christmas all this year. But I decided this was one of the 15. Block 1 is almost finished. I've got to finish doing the bricks, and this is kind of like leaves right here. But this is a lot of fun. I gotta do some in here, put some more bees here. Not beads, bees, like these. And then I think there's a squirrel right here. And I think it says, behold, spring has come, or something like that. But I'm excited to work on this, because this was so much fun last year. So that's what I'll be doing today. Let us see here. Oh, there's something my friend Angie at Cross Stitching Time, I was talking to her and I told her I had an idea. I don't know if I'm going to be, I don't know if I am going to be brave enough to do it. But she said to do it, that she has done it before, and she thinks that I'd do really good at it. But I thought of putting a piece in the county fair for next year, not for this year. I would never have it done, but for next year, and start working on it once winter is done. Start working on it as a daily piece, and that is Map at Hawk Run Hollow. I've been wanting to do this one, and I thought, well, if I had, you know, a goal to go to, like going to the fair and putting this in the fair, then I would be more than likely to stitch it. And so far, I've liked spring at Hawk Run Hollow, and I've also done autumn at Hawk Run Hollow, just the first blocks, and I've loved them. So I am thinking of putting this in the fair. And I had my daughter come over, and she dyed me some fabric, and this is the color I came up with. And I think it's going to be so pretty. Let's see if we can get it to be a true color here. It's almost like macaroni color. That's the, you know, macaroni and cheese. It's kind of like that color. But I seen somebody who was doing this, and they had it on that color, and it was stunning. So I'm thinking maybe I was thinking that would be really pretty on there. There it is, more of that color. It's still not really showing true color, but and then this would be the color, or this would be the map on it. Isn't that pretty? It brings out those oranges and yellows in the map. I just thought that would be stunning. So that, I think that's going to be my next goal. I'm a little nervous, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I want to put this, I've never done one in a county fair. I don't know how many people do cross stitching at the county fair. I know they probably do embroidery and quilts and stuff like that, but I don't know about cross stitching. And like I said, this would give me motivation to start this. So I'm really thinking of doing that. I think it'd be so much fun. And my husband has, the other day, I dropped something. I'm not sure what I dropped, but oh well. My husband the other day, so I have a fully finished, and my husband will be inserting it at the end of the video. But it is the Just Married piece that I stitched for my daughter and my son-in-law. And he fully finished it in the frame, and it looks so good. I was impressed. Usually I'm very OCD, and I was very impressed. So he has a whole year to continue, you know, framing my stuff, my finished projects, because I've got a whole box up here, which I meant to bring down and show you all, but I have a whole box, and if we work on that for a whole year, I'm going to have him frame my map at Hawk Run Hollow. So I think that'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you like that fully finished at the end when you see the picture. On the back, somebody at the Queen City Stitch Retreat gave me a card, and I wish I had it, but I didn't take a picture of it. We did copy it and put it on printer paper, not on printer paper, on sticker paper, and I'm going to put it on the back of each one of my pieces, but it has like the name of the piece and what you were thinking of while you were stitching the piece, and the name of the author of the piece, you know, how old was I when I was stitching it, and it's just a remembrance, and it'd be good for my grandbabies, you know, and my children. When I pass away, they can see, you know, what I was thinking and how old was I, and it was very interesting, and my daughter and my son-in-law just absolutely loved the whole thing. So, also, I got an email today from Tempting Tangles, and I think I'm going to do the sale for Tempting Tangles. I don't know if I will finish it this year. It starts in June, and it goes through November. It's the Nativity. I love anything to do with the Nativity. I have creches, or stables all over my house with at Christmas with different nativity scenes, and I just love them. And so I decided that it's only $9, which is not bad. They want you to buy the dinky color silks or something. I don't have that kind of money. They are $60, and so I'm just going to do the DMC conversion, and I'm going to start it. I think I'm going to. I might not start it right away, but I went ahead and bought the sale, and then if I don't get it done this year, that's fine. I'll get it done eventually, but it looked really, really cute. So, not only cute, but, you know, a nice piece to put up at Christmas. So, that's what I'm going to be starting on. And if you're interested, go look at Tempting Tangles. And they also have a Facebook group that you can join. Okay, so like I mentioned, we're going to go on to my plans now. Like I mentioned, in the month of May, I decided to do 16 whips, or not whips, PhDs. I decided to do 16 PhDs, and when the wheel spins that PhD, I'm giving it 2 days. And I'm stitching on as much as I want. After I stitch on 50 stitches on winter, I'm stitching on it as much as I want on that PhD. And so I'm just trying it out for the month of May. If I continue to like that, I will keep working on all 16 for this year. And there's quite a few that I am so close to finishing. And I didn't realize I was that close to finishing. So there's no sense in them just sitting around and just languishing. And like I said, I will continue to give winter 50 or more, as much as I want. I found it's better for me not to limit myself. If I'm enjoying it, I'm going to keep working on it. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm just put the stitches in and pack it up. So I'm going to keep switching those. And then there's a couple of things that, there was a mistake I made on my last video. I was not thinking straight because of my surgery and all that. And I'm doing fairly well with my surgery. I had a hematoma. I ended up having a hematoma, a pretty big one, on my surgical site, and so I have to continue to rest and just put hot compresses. It's going away slowly, but anyways, so my brain, I don't think, was working exactly right, but I kept saying Memorial Day, I think, for for leap year. So I had a leap year start called Memorial Park by Praiseworthy Stitches. And on the 29th of every month, I'm going to be working on that piece for the next 4 years. and hopefully I'll have it done before the next leap year or right at at that leap year. And when I'm done with it, we're going to put it up in my husband and I are going to put it up in our game room slash puzzle room slash Lego room. I'm really liking it. It's really going to be cute. So there was a couple of things I was going to do, and I'm trying not to be so long-winded, so I'm trying to go a little faster. So there's a few more things that I would, if you were just here for the PhDs, you can leave now, but I was going to talk about my favorite tools, a new system that I'm doing with my charts that I have. I have a couple of questions somebody has asked me or has been asked. I'm going to talk about some recommended books that I finished, and one that an audio book I just started today. And let's see here. I'm going to talk about my haul. I didn't have a whole lot of it. That was another question. Do you want me to continue to show you my haul, or are you not interested? Okay, so let's talk about these things. So let's go on to some things that have happened, and then we'll go on to the questions and my favorite tools. How about that? Sounds good to me. Okay, so I told you last time that we had 6 kittens born. They are all doing very well. We have one little boy, and we call him Romeo, or we call him the titty baby, because we got him out one day, and usually kittens all start out really the same, and then you'll notice one drops off a little bit. And this one, he was turning out to be super small. Mama has 6 kittens, and it's a lot for her, and so we've been feeding her good and everything, but we noticed this little boy was kind of languishing behind the others, so we started him on a bottle, supplementing him with a bottle, and boy does he like that bottle. That's why we call him Titty Baby, because he loves that bottle. And we're officially calling him Romeo, but boy, he goes nuts on that bottle. He gulps it down. His stomach, he looks like a little hippo after he's done. He is so round. But they're all doing very well. Either today or tomorrow, we should have another litter of kittens. Evie Rose is due tomorrow, but she never shows that she's having her kittens. She just has them. She's had 3 litters, and we woke up in the middle of the night, or in the morning, and my husband had just had knee surgery, and there was a kitten laying on him. She had that kitten in the middle of the night on my husband, and we had no idea. And my husband had flipped back the covers, and he thought he might have thrown one across the room, but no, she just had one kitten, and so that was really funny. And then next week, my little dog Layla will be having her puppies. I think it'll be probably the 22nd. And this will be her last litter. She shouldn't have had this litter, but she decided she was going to do what she wanted to do. Also, you'll hear a lot of birds in the background. We rescued, we'll put in parentheses, 3 parakeets from the pet store. Somebody brought them in and couldn't keep them anymore, and so we got them, and they're a little loud, but they're really sweet. They're 3 years old. One is Snowball. These are the names they came with. One is Snowball, one is Tweety Bird, and one is, they named her Kindle, but she's a girl, so we're calling her Dolly. So that's what you hear in the background. Okay, I think I will show my, one other thing is that we finished our tortoise enclosure out front. We're still working on it. We're still putting in plants and different things like that. We bought a hosta, put it in the ground, and within 2 hours, the whole thing was gone. And the hosta cost us $15, and they mowed that down. And so I don't know if the roots are going to take hold or not. I can't see anything left of it. Who knows? But they sure enjoyed themselves with that $15. Let me tell you, that was pricey. So, and then we also put in some goldfish into their water where they go to the bathroom and things. And we're trying to make it like eco-friendly. And we thought they had eaten the goldfish because we couldn't find them anywhere. And we had bought 3 of them. And all of a sudden, the goldfish popped out, and there they were. They were just swimming around in there, so they must have been hiding very well in their little pool thing. Another thing that has happened to me, and that's in future plans, is I got into the Crazy Woman Stitch Retreat. This will be my 2nd year going. It's in Cody, Wyoming in September, and I'm working on a secret small. We're supposed to do a small for an exchange, and I'm not showing that because, but it's going to be really cute. Because I don't know whoever gets it might watch this, and I don't want to ruin it for them. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 questions I had. First question I had was, do you use a planner or a calendar? And yes, I do. I use a planner. I don't plan things out on it. I do. I guess I do. I bought back last year sometime the Ultimate Cross Stitch Planner from Etsy. And I don't use everything in there, but I do use some of the papers, and so I write out what I'm doing for the month, and if it changes, it changes. You know, it's written in pencil. It's subject to change, and so I do use that. And then I do use my calendar. It's a happy planner, and I change out I don't buy a new happy planner every year. I just made covers out of scrapbook paper and my laminator, and I just switch out the colors, the covers throughout the year. And so I put in a new calendar every year. The dividers I made, same thing. I made them out of scrapbook paper, and the month dividers I made out of scrapbook paper and laminated them, and I just use that every year and just switch out the months. And so I do use a planner and a calendar. Also, I was asked, how do I organize my patterns? I organize my patterns. There's been a few ways I've organized my patterns, and I'm going to stick to this way for now because I have over 2,000 patterns, and it is a chore to go through those patterns and redo them every time something comes around, every new idea that comes around. So I've organized them by holidays. That did not work very well for me because I would forget that I had this pattern by this creator, because it would be in the spring instead of the Halloween. It was a mess. I was buying double patterns. If this makes any sense, I'm hoping I'm explaining it right. But anyways, so I decided to do it just by by designer, by their last name. I put them up in the magazine holders you see up here. These are my smaller charts back here. They're in little white notebooks. And then these are my bigger charts over here. And I just do them by their last name. I also use X-Stitch. I think it's called X-Stitch. And you put in you can search either by the chart or by the designer, and it'll tell you, you know, you have to manually put them in, but once you have them in, you can search by the name of the chart or by the designer, and it'll tell you whether you have it or not. And that has helped me tremendously. So that is how I organize my patterns. Another thing that I was watching I think it's She-Bee Stitches, or She-Bee Stitcher. I think it's She-Bee Stitches though. You need to go over and watch her. She's very good. She loves Halloween. So she was showing, she has 2 episodes, I guess they're like floss tube extras, of her Halloween patterns, and they're her most recent ones. But she was showing that she has a card in there that tells the size of the pattern. So say this is a Halloween pattern. Of course it's not, but it's American Spirit by It's So Emma, and I want to do this. But anyways, so she takes the size of the chart, which this one's 65 by 59, and this is my template my husband made up for me, but these are the sizes that I do. I do occasionally 28 count, but my eyes are not good at all, and so these are the counts that I am most comfortable with. But anyways, I went on yarntree.com, and they've got the cross stitch calculator, and you put what count you want, and you know the size of the thing, and so that's what I did. And these are the sizes that I got for this chart. So now if I want to stitch this chart, all I have to do is go to my material that I have, and I've showed you before how I organize my material. I measure it and have a little card on it, tells what count it is, and I just go through there and say I need a 12.5 by 12 on 14 count. And I look for a piece that's close to that. If it's a little bigger, that's fine. Also, this includes 2-inch margins. 2-inch margins are plenty big for me. So I go and look for these counts, and then I look for this piece of material. And that was something She-Bee Stitches. So I've been doing that. I've been doing a notebook a day, and I'll probably do a magazine holder a day once I'm done with these notebooks. I just, at night, after I cross stitch, or during the day when I'm watching TV, watching floss tube, whatever, I'll just take out my notebook and I'll look and see what stitch count it is, and I'll put it in there, and I'll just write it down, and within minutes I have it. It seems minutes, but it's really not. But I don't stress myself if I don't get it done that day. That's fine, but that is going to help me out tremendously, because there's a lot of times that I look and I try to see what size it is, and I have to take out the chart, and now I can pull it off. I can pull the notebook off, find that chart that I want, and look at that card on the back. I stick it in the back, and I'll know exactly what to do. So that is how I organize my patterns, and I'm also organizing my material and finding out what size I need. That's going to save me a lot of time. So those were my 2 questions. Now, who have I been watching? I've been watching the Camping Stitcher. So what happened was my daughter came Friday and brought me my Mother's Day gift. And she gave me a gift card to Amazon. I decided I was going to look on FlossTube. I was going to type in favorite cross-stitch tools and find out if there's any cross-stitch tools that I don't have that maybe I can buy with my Amazon gift card. I don't know. There's all kinds of tips and tricks and tools out there. So I figured I would look and see. And the one that has been my favorite so far is the Camping Stitcher. And I went and joined her FlossTube group. but she has a really thorough, is it the Camping Stitcher? I'm sure it is. She has a really thorough on what she's using for tools, and it'd be really good for you to go and watch it. Also, I'm watching Teresa Little Stitcher. I was sorting out my Legos today, and I've tried to do full coverage before, but it's not really worked out for me. I just really don't care for it. But she's got a whole series on full coverage for beginners, and I'm finding it very interesting. So maybe that's another thing that you all can go and watch if you've even thought about doing a full coverage. I don't know if it still would interest me or not, but she is giving some tips and tricks and little gadgets and things you can figure out for your Aida or your even weave, and she's explaining it all, and I think it's been very interesting. So that's who I've been watching. As far as what we've been watching on TV, we've been watching a show called Evil, and it's on Paramount. It's been pretty good. Might be something you'd be interested in. I also just finished listening to an audiobook called The Summer House by Lauren K. Denton. Denton. Fantastic. It was a really, really good book. It was just one of those cozy books that it doesn't have a lot of romance, because I really am not a romance reader. But it's just something you can curl up with for the day, and I just kept wanting to listen to it. So I highly recommend that one. It's The Summer House by Lauren K. Denton. And I've been listening to these on, I think it's called Hoopla? Yeah, Hoopla. The one I started today is called The Devil's Bones by Jefferson Bass. I love the bone farm. I've always been interested in his books, but this is the fourth, I do believe, in the series. So this one's called The Devil's Bones, and Hoopla has all of them, and I'm going to listen to all of them. But that one's been really good so far. Okay, I'm going to show you my haul, and then I think that's all I've got to talk to you about today. Oh, I was going to talk to you about my favorite tools. Let's do that first. So one of my favorite tools, it really isn't a tool, but it might be something you're interested in. I got this off of Lord Lebidian. I think that is yarntree.com, but it's all the DMC colors. And every time I kit up a kit with these colors, I put a mark on there. So I know that I need to buy what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replace the one that I kitted up with a new one. So like, say Joann starts having their sales again, which I'm going to be looking for because Memorial Day's coming up and they usually have them then. I can go to the store and say, hey, I need 2 ecru to replace the ones I have. I need 3 white. This one is just white, and you can see I used 6 of those. And then all of these different ones, because I was tired of going to the store and not knowing what I was needing. And so that is what I'm going to do there. And so this is a very handy tool for me, because I know that I'm in need of these colors, and I can just take this with me, or I can even screenshot it and know that these are the colors I need and not waste money on every color out there. Also, when we were watching the Camping Stitcher, my husband was watching it with me, and he decided to do something for me for Mother's Day, and I thought it was the nicest thing, because it showed he was being intentional, and it was also showing that he was listening, and that has been very nice for me. And also, he was also thinking about me, because this is what he did. He found these, he knows I love birds, so he decorated this, and then he bought me these cases, and these are what I'm going to be bringing. Well, this one sits by my stitching chair, but I have another big one that he got me. But these are waterproof cases. And if I spill anything, nothing will get ruined in here. And then he put me this little thing on there so I can hook it onto my bag if I need to. But let me show you what's in here. Because I went through, he bought me a lot, not a lot, but he thought about it. And he came up with some ideas for tools for cross-stitching, which I thought were really things probably I wouldn't have never thought of, but he thought of. And then I put in the stuff that I do use quite a bit. But he went to Harbor Freight, and he got these little to hold my project when I have extra material. And they're super strong. They're plastic, and I don't think they're going to leave marks. They're really soft here. They use these on tarps and things. So he got me a set of these, and I thought they were really nice. And then, of course, I always have these folded pair of scissors. And I like them folded because I don't get in trouble when I go on the plane. I always have a needle threader with me. I do lick my floss, but I try not to anymore. And so I bought a whole bunch of these needle threaders. As you can see, let me see if I can, most of you know what these are. But this I've had for 2 years now, and most of the time, these are the El Cheapos. But the way I got them to stay was I put just a little dab of super glue right where this starts. Had no issue with it pulling out, none at all. You can see I'm pulling hard. And then he put a magnet on the back to go on my, I have a stand. And so we did that. And then here's my needles. I love these Dritz tubes. And he put a magnet on the bottom so it just sticks on my stand. And typically I use 26 count. Typically what I use. So that's my needles. And they're magnetic in there so they won't fall out. Then he got me this, and this is really neat. I thought maybe it was to hold my needles in. I was like, okay, this is nice, you know, keeps it waterproof and all that. But no, it's not. When you take the lid off, it becomes a flashlight. Sorry for blinding you. But isn't that neat? And it's magnetic. So you just pull it off, and then it snaps right on in there. So now I have a little magnet, or a little, you know, in case I drop a needle or something, I have a flashlight. Then he got me this, and of course everybody probably knows what this is, but he said this would be nice for you to pull out your, if you want to, you can pull out your threads. Or if you get a knot in your material, because I'm always asking him, do you have a knife? You can cut this off here. Not in my thread, not my material. So he got me that. And then I always keep a pencil with me, but I do a retractable pencil so that it doesn't get all over my fabric. And then I have more pencil leads. And a lot of this stuff came from the Dollar Tree, so you don't have to spend a bunch of money. I know some people show a bunch of stuff and all these things. I don't spend a bunch of money. I use what I have around the house, and I told my husband, you know, I hope you didn't spend a bunch of money. He said, oh no, I just thought about things and just went ahead and did that. So I have this thing called, this is from Clover. I think it came with 2, but these are little macaroons. But what they really are emery. And this is one of those snag nabbits. It's like a needle, but it's got like this rough side where you can pull your threads back through. They're really supposed to be for when you knit. You know how you get like a pull on your knit sweater, you can pull it back through, but I use it for that. And then I have this needle. It's more of a blunt needle, and I use this to pull my thread off my thread drops, because I use thread drops. Then another thing he got me, I thought this was so neat. So he made it so I can make it whole, or I can do it apart. But this is to pull knots out. And you put them together and you just work the knot out. So he came up with that for me. Then he got me these tweezers, because you know you might have cat hair or dog hair on your clothes, or maybe you got a stray thread in there that you don't want in there. But the nice thing about these is they open, and then you slide this and it shuts. So I thought that was very nice. And then he got me, I wanted a small, I have a bigger one of these, but he got me a smaller one. He got me 2 of these. But these are to pick up in case you drop your needles or whatever. I love this thing. This goes with me everywhere. But the nice thing about this one is you can wear it on your shirt if you want. So he got me that. And then this is an old trick of mine. I bring this everywhere. I think I've showed these before. But you just put a dab of fabric softener on here. I mean a drop. And then you put water on here. And this straightens up your thread. If you've had it on bobbins and it's got the curls on it, just run your pieces on here. And I even have hand dyed thread, and it has not taken the color out. And so, and he also put a magnet on the bottom of this for me to put on my stand. So those are just some of my tools that I use. I can't live without. And then those are tools that he came up with. And then I don't know if you can see this or not. Maybe you can, but inside here he put magnetic sheets and put them down in the bottom to fit. And then now, you know, these things won't fall out. So yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. He didn't think I would like it, but I really do like it. And, you know, those are the best gifts, is gifts that people have put their thoughts into. It isn't the amount. I always taught my kids, you know, it's not the amount. You can go to the Dollar Tree and get somebody their favorite bag of candy and a little card and spend $2, and you have meant the world to them because you thought of them. And there is never an excuse to go anywhere without a gift or just brightening somebody's day, or, you know, whatever. All you have to do is go and spend $1, or just get a card for 50 cents. I think they're 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And just write a little note. It does not have to be anything extravagant. And I would have been happy with just this little keyring thing here, because there's so many uses for this thing, you know. And you can use it as a floss for your floss drops. You can hang, you know, different things that you need. I mean, you know, you don't have to. Even these little stickers make me so happy. If he had given me a thing of stickers in a card, I'd have been thrilled. I mean, how cute are these? You know, with the little eyes and everything. I mean, they're just adorable. But just knowing that he thought of me, and you know, he thought of the waterproof case and the little magnetic sheets, and you know, this stuff comes from his perspective. I would have never thought to come up with these things. You know, these little pull apart things for, or you know, the little flashlight that comes on. I just think that is really special. And so, you know, just don't ever think that you can't do something when you can do it for a person and make their day. And if it doesn't make their day and they complain about it, well, they've got a problem and you don't. At least it made you happy. So, with that, my husband's letting out the dogs, and of course they're all barking. I'm going to let you go. Remember, the word for the year is peace. Have peace in your life. Have whatever makes you happy. No, the dog is not dying. He thinks he has to bark that way every time. But whatever peace is in, have peace in your life. Just rest in knowing that you've done the best you can, and if you're a Christian, you know the Lord's helped you through another day. And just live in peace and bring peace to somebody's heart and mind by giving them a word of encouragement, or even a little gift maybe, or even text them a little thinking about you today. Anything is better than nothing. So with that, I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Okay, bye-bye.